I am Ted Williams, and this is my story. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, a boy with dreams bigger than the narrow streets and dusty lots where I first held a baseball bat. From the very beginning, the game whispered to me, its rhythm and pulse coursing through my veins, telling me I was meant for something extraordinary. They would later call me the Splendid Splinter, a name that carried both awe and expectation. But in those early days, I was just a boy, learning the hard truths of patience, focus, and determination. Every miss, every failed swing, every bruise and scrape on my hands was a lesson etched into my soul, building the foundation for a career that would defy records and time itself. What does it take to be the greatest hitter who ever lived? What sacrifices are necessary to reach the pinnacle of baseball glory? These are the questions that guided me through long days of practice under the relentless sun, through nights of doubt, and through the challenges that no highlight reel could ever capture. This is more than a story of statistics or triumphs. It is a story of perseverance, of passion, and of a relentless pursuit of excellence that shaped every aspect of my life. I grew up in a modest neighborhood where the streets were rough and the fields were bare dirt patches that became our makeshift ballparks. My parents worked tirelessly, instilling in me the values of hard work and discipline, though they could not have imagined that the small boy with a worn bat and a frayed glove would one day become the most feared hitter in Major League Baseball. My earliest memories are filled with afternoons spent swinging at anything I could find, imagining the roar of the crowd as I sent a ball soaring over imaginary fences. Those early days were filled with struggles, lack of proper equipment, limited resources, and constant challenges from boys older and stronger. But every miss, every stumble, every scrape only fueled my determination. I learned quickly that talent alone was not enough. Dedication and relentless practice were the currency of greatness. While other children played for fun, I treated each swing, each pitch, as a test of character, a rehearsal for a future that seemed at once impossibly distant and undeniably inevitable. I watched the older boys, learning their flaws and strengths, absorbing lessons from every game, every swing, every cheer and jeer, and internalizing them as a roadmap for my own journey. My neighborhood, though humble, became the crucible in which my skills were forged. Each day, I pushed harder, swung longer, and refused to accept mediocrity in any form. The field was my proving ground, the bat my instrument, and the ball my constant companion. I began to understand the subtle mechanics of the swing, the timing required to meet the ball just so, and the mental fortitude necessary to withstand the pressure of anticipation. In those formative years, I was not thinking of records, fame, or accolades. I was thinking of perfection, of achieving a level of mastery that would leave nothing to chance, that would make every swing an expression of precision and intent. Every bruise on my hands was a badge of honor, every failure a teacher whispering the secrets of improvement. It was not enough to play. One had to study, to dissect, to anticipate, to become almost a part of the very rhythm of the game. By the time I reached my teenage years, my skill was undeniable. Local teams began to notice me, scouts took interest, and whispers of potential greatness followed me wherever I went. Yet the road ahead was not without its obstacles. Even as I honed my abilities, life demanded sacrifice. The Great Depression loomed over our city, and families struggled to make ends meet. Every spare moment I had was spent practicing, refining my swing, and learning the discipline of the sport, because I knew that talent without preparation would never be enough to stand against the best. While others allowed distractions to divert them from their goals, I focused relentlessly on my craft. I studied the mechanics of every batter who came before me, learned the strategies of every pitcher I faced, and trained my body to respond instinctively to the rhythm of the game. Hours turned into days, days into months, and months into years of unrelenting dedication. With every strike, every foul, every home run I witnessed or imagined, I became more committed to the ideal of perfection, even when it felt unattainable. When I finally entered Major League Baseball with the Boston Red Sox, the world shifted. The bright lights, roaring crowds, and unforgiving scrutiny tested everything I had learned. My first games were filled with failure, swing after swing, that fell short of my expectations. The press, the fans, and even my own teammates watched closely, and each misstep carried weight. But within those early setbacks lay the seeds of growth. I dedicated myself to learning from each mistake, to adjusting my stance, timing, and approach. I worked tirelessly with coaches, analyzed each pitch, and developed a mental toughness that would become as important as my physical ability. Every early strikeout became a lesson in resilience, every missed opportunity a step closer to mastery. I learned to embrace failure as a teacher, understanding that greatness is forged not in ease, but in the crucible of relentless challenge. As my skills matured, so too did my reputation. Fans began to notice the precision of my swing, the focus in my eyes, the unyielding determination that radiated from the plate. I was no longer merely a young man with potential. I was becoming a hitter who could change the course of a game with a single swing. Yet, life demanded even more sacrifice. My career was interrupted by service in World War II and the Korean War. I left behind the stadiums, the crowds, and the life I had built to serve my country, knowing that the time away could diminish my edge, could erode the rhythm I had fought so hard to achieve. Military life was a stark contrast to baseball. The discipline, the regiment, the constant threat of danger. But it honed qualities within me that would later define my approach to the game: resilience, patience, and an unshakable focus on duty and purpose. Returning to baseball after years of absence required a reinvention of self. My body had changed, my timing needed recalibration, and yet the fire within me refused to dim. I retrained, repeated drills tirelessly, and committed myself to reclaiming every fraction of skill I had once possessed. This period taught me the impermanence of time, the fragility of opportunity, and the extraordinary value of relentless preparation. As my career progressed, the records followed. A .344 batting average, 521 home runs, 6 batting titles, and multiple MVP awards were milestones that reflected countless hours of dedication. But they were not the entirety of the story. Each number represents a moment in time, a confrontation between skill and chance, a challenge overcome through focus and tenacity. The legendary home runs, the game-winning hits, and the electrifying moments on the field were manifestations of a philosophy I had cultivated. That preparation, discipline, and an unwavering belief in oneself could elevate a man beyond the ordinary. I studied pitchers, anticipated their strategies, and approached the plate with a clarity that bordered on instinctual genius. Yet I never allowed pride to cloud judgment. Each swing was deliberate, each decision measured, and each action guided by years of observation, practice, and learning from failure. My achievements became not just personal victories, but benchmarks for those who would follow, a standard of excellence that demanded respect and emulation. Off the field, life was no less complex. Fame brought scrutiny, and with it, personal struggles. Relationships strained under public attention, and the pressure to perform weighed heavily on the spirit. I learned that resilience was not only physical but emotional, that strength of character must accompany skill, and that true greatness encompasses both mastery of craft and mastery of self. The quiet moments, reflecting alone in an empty stadium, contemplating the sacrifices made, the triumphs won, and the lessons learned, revealed a deeper understanding of life and purpose. This introspection allowed me to navigate the pressures of notoriety while maintaining authenticity and integrity, proving that even the most celebrated individuals face challenges that test their core values and resolve. Beyond statistics and accolades, my legacy is measured by the influence imparted to future generations. Young players study my mechanics, emulate my approach, and draw inspiration from my relentless pursuit of excellence. The ethos of dedication, precision, and perseverance that I embodied continues to shape the sport and those who aspire to greatness within it. The true measure of a career, I discovered, lies not only in what is achieved, but in what is inspired, in how one's actions resonate and cultivate ambition, discipline, and integrity in others. Throughout my life, I have learned that excellence is not a destination, but a continuous journey, that failure is a companion rather than an adversary, and that the pursuit of one's passions demands courage, sacrifice, and unwavering focus. Whether on the field or in life beyond baseball, these principles remain universal. Dedication, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of mastery define not only athletes, but anyone striving for greatness. Every swing, every practice, every challenge faced is an opportunity to rise above mediocrity, to leave a lasting imprint on the world, and to inspire those who follow. I gave my life to baseball. Every inning, every at-bat, every moment of triumph and failure shaped the man I became. I am Ted Williams, and the journey was never easy, yet it was worth every sacrifice, every bruise, every long day in the sun. My story is not merely about records or legendary home runs. It is about perseverance, discipline, and an unrelenting commitment to one's craft. I faced doubt, interruptions, and challenges beyond the diamond, yet I never wavered in pursuit of excellence. To those who hear this story, know that greatness is attainable not through talent alone, but through focus, courage, and relentless practice. Ask yourself, what are you willing to give to chase your dreams? Let the spirit that guided me, that fueled every swing, every decision, and every triumph, serve as a guide. Dedicate yourself wholly, embrace challenges, and never relent in the pursuit of your highest potential. If this story has moved you, let it ignite your own journey and share it, inspire others, and carry forward the lessons of dedication and resilience. The legend of the Splendid Splinter is more than a name. It is a testament to the extraordinary heights achievable through unwavering passion and determination.